What's going on, everybody? My name is Edward Peters. I am a recording, mixing, and mastering engineer from Harrisburg, PA. I work at BLV Studios in Lemoyne, PA, and today we're going to go over a extensive Pro Tools template to get you going in the studio, maybe help you out. I don't know if you're maybe a new engineer and you're looking on YouTube for videos on how to set up this and how to set up that. Well, this is definitely the video because this is the most detailed and extensive but sensible Pro Tools template that you can get, guaranteed. I spent a lot of time putting this together. I've had many versions, but this is the final version of the template. Eddie, you made this? If you watch this video and you find that you want this template, you can purchase this template from the link below. Once you purchase the template and you pull it up in your Pro Tools session, it's going to open up just like this. Just make sure you have the plugins that are required for it to work. Most people already have the plugins. It's really basic stuff. Not stock stuff though, but it's basic stuff. And I will drop, if you guys like this, I'll drop a stock version where it's all stock plugins if you want that. But as far as the template goes, we're going to get right into it. So the first thing in the template is going to be the 2-track beat. This is for your instrumental from YouTube or wherever you get your beat from, where it's just one file, you would drag it in here. It's a stereo audio track, and it's routed to the Submix where the vocals and the beat get processed all at once, and it kind of glues everything together. So that's where you would route that, and it has no input. You don't need the input. On the insert slots, we have auto key on the first insert slot. Pay attention to that. Then we have trim. I set it to -10, but you adjust whenever the beat comes in. I like my beat to be coming in around like right here, around like 10 right here. Then we have API 550A. This is used seldomly, and it's only used whenever I really need to like construct the beat and get the vocals to fit really well. So like if I need to cut out some of the mid frequencies or boost some of the highs, or boost some low frequencies, I would use this very sparingly. The next plugin is Soothe 2. You don't need to have Soothe 2. You can also use Track Spacer. But basically what this is doing is it's creating space in the beat for the vocals. And this is not going to be a tutorial on how to set this up. If you have Track Spacer, use the regular Track Spacer plugin. I'll put a picture of what that looks like up here. Next plugin is One Knob Filter from Waves. I use this plugin for that underwater effect when the beat's about to drop and it's like, you know what I mean? It's already set, so in plugin automation, filtering is already the option set. So all you would have to do whenever you pull up this template, you got your beat right here, right? You would go over here to One Knob Filter, and then you would hit touch, and then say you're starting to play your beat, right? And you want like a underwater effect in the beginning. You would drag this down like here, and if you see right there on the screen, it's bringing it down. This will create like a filtering effect from the high frequencies, and then right before the beat drops, boom, slam it back up, and then fix that however you want. But now you have a beat drop, so it comes down low, underwater, boom, beat drop. This is a very effective plugin. I always keep it there. I always use it, and it creates this like really nice vibe in the song. Most of the time it's useful. Next track is my playlist track. It's just for playlisting, simple as possible. I just have it color coded the same as the record tracks, and just notice how and where I put it. The next thing that I want to explain is my record track. It's connected to a print track, so I like it to be more of like a studio feel. So when you're recording, instead of like, say you put a compressor and some EQ and whatever on your record track, and then you had to put the same compressor and EQ on your bus in order to have that effect. Well, now I can record myself with the tube tech, and it's going to be working, but it stays on my vocals. So once I record the vocal, it's printing this onto the track. So when I record, it would look like this. So when you hit record, no record tracks enabled. So you could probably hear me right now, and this is what it would look like. Yeah. You see how the compressor's working? So now when I drag this down and you listen, you see how the compressor's working? the compressor effects stay on the vocal. So it's kind of like a studio working with like external equipment. I like it that way. The way you set it up would be like this. So the record track you normally would have your input to your mic right here. What you want to do is you want to select a bus, right? You want to come down here, select any mono bus, and then you want to create a print track. It's the same thing as creating the record track. All you're doing is for the output, you're making it that same bus that you just made for the input of the record track. And then you're making your mic input up here on the print track. So what's happening is you're recording into here, into the tube tech, and it's coming out the record track and into your session. And it's a little complicated, but if you get it, this is a lifesaver for vocals. That's the record tracks and the 2-track. One thing I want to mention with the 2-track is I don't just have a 2-track beat. This is where things are going to get a little confusing, but try to stay along. If you open up this window right here and you take a look here, I have tracks here for a multi-track beat. What I'm doing is I'm keeping my 2-track for the instrumental for YouTube. I'm keeping that open always. So, because most clients are going to bring in a 2-track. If an artist were to bring in a multi-track beat, I don't have to sit there and make all those things. I can just unhide these and then boom, I have something for a kick. I have something for 808. I have something for a synth. And then if I want to activate them, you just right click and make active. And then boom, now you have all these and you could unmute these. You can mute this one and hide that one. And then now you have the correct tracks for a multi-track situation. I keep that hidden just so it's out the way and it's not bothering me. So you just scroll on, you just click one of these and it just opens them up. When you get the template, that's going to be hidden. You have to pull those up. Next thing you're going to notice is these green tracks right here. We have 2 lead vocal tracks. It's pretty self-explanatory. They're lead vocal tracks. I keep 2 of them. So when I'm recording, right, and I'm recording, boom, 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 I drag this one down to here. Then I'm recording again. I drag this one down to here, recording again, boom. You only need 2, maybe 3 at most. And remember, the lead vocal tracks go to the lead vocal bus, which is right here. You can see lead vocals and lead vocals. They go there. Now, the ad-lib track is to the background vocal bus, which is below it. This is the background vocal bus. Notice there's slightly different array of plugins. You want your ad-libs and your background vocals to sit back in the mix. You don't want to process them the same. So I have a separate bus for the background vocals, and the ad-lib track and the background vocal tracks they all go there. On the actual ad-lib track, I have all the auto-tune, obviously, but I have a instance of Pro Q4, and I'm just rolling off lows, rolling off highs, making it set in the mix. That's just a starting point. You would adjust that to how the song sounds. For the background vocals, you'll notice they are panned. This says background vox, left 1, right 1, left 2, and center. So I have 1 background vox going to the left. I have 1 going to the right. I have another one going further to the left, and then I have 1 straight down the middle. Okay, now that we have that, we can move on to the vocal buses that I have. If you notice, we have the lead vocal bus, and the plugins that I have on there are sibilance for de-essing, SSL E channel for subtractive EQ. Then we have LA2A for leveling. We have C4 for more compression, but in bands. And we have the Abbey Road saturator. I don't use this every single time, but it's just to add saturation to the vocals. Then we have Pro Q4. This is for further just detailed reduction and boosting. I think that a better plugin for boosting frequencies in EQ would be Spectra. It's about $100. You should check that plugin out. Yeah, it boosts the frequencies by adding like harmonic new harmonic tones instead of just boosting it static. But for now, this is the template. This is where you would boost frequencies. Wherever you want to boost your frequencies, this is where you would do it. If you want some high shell, boom, right there. This is where you would do that. Further shaping of the vocal. This is the Soothe 2 plugin. Again, we have that instance on the 2-track, but we also have this. This is for resonant frequencies, just cleaning up everything resonant and anything else for like de-essing. And then if you notice here, we have the all vocals bus. So the all vocals bus is connected to both of these buses. If you notice here, both of these are routed to the all vocals bus, which is right here. So the vocals come through here, and then they both come here for processing. All I have on here is an instance of SSL bus compressor, and it's just to glue those two together. So it glues the lead vocals and the background vocals together and makes it feel like a whole song. Now that we talked about the vocal buses, we could talk about the effects that I have. So obviously the first effects that we have is the reverb effects, just Valhalla vintage verb. Then we have a slap delay. We went over this. I showed you the settings for the slap delay. And then we have lead vocal delays, ad-lib delays, and background vocal delay. These change per song. The settings change per song. This is not like a mixing tutorial. This is a template tutorial. Then we have parallel compression or New York style compression. I'm using the RVox. I'm just cramming it down, and then a little bit of Pro Q for just shaping. Now, I do want to say that if you're not understanding like what parallel compression is or what these delays are, then this template is a little too advanced for you. I would probably go learn more first and then come back here. Not saying you couldn't handle it, but I'm saying it's probably smarter if you just go learn more first. On the wide effect, which is another send, I'm sending the doubler 2 with the direct. Make sure you turn off the direct singing. So this is the direct voice down the middle, and then this would be the 2 side vocals, and it's like a doubling effect. It like widens up the mix. So I would run like an automation, right? So like if the song's playing, I would turn on touch, and then like throughout the song I would lift this up and turn it back down and lift this up to give it that spatial effect. That's a great thing to have just sitting there in the template. So that's the main effects. If you would want to add effects, you would just do that yourself, but this is like the main effects that will get you through a full mix. The next thing we're going to go over is the VCAs that I've created. In the template that you're going to purchase, there's going to be another VCA for music and vocals. I forgot to add that. For right now, we'll just go over these. So we have the instrument VCA. This is not for the 2-track. This is for if you're using those multi-tracks and you want to bring down the whole volume of everything, you can do that. Then the next VCA is the lead vocal VCA. So if you need the lead vocals to sit a little bit better in the mix, or you need them a little quieter, you could just turn this down and it will turn down only the lead vocals. Now, same with the background vocals, so these right here. So this is where we have to talk about something. So I don't just have this for this one artist, right? So from here, all vocal bus, all the way up to here, to the lead vocal 1, I have a doubled instance of that for a feature, right? Remember, you're an engineer. Your client could come in with a feature. So if you notice, the same way I have that multi-track tracks hidden, I also have these hidden for a feature, right? All you would do is click them, drag up, and then expose all of these tracks. And then you click here, click down here, highlight them all, right click, make active. Just like that, you pulled up all these tracks for a feature artist and you're ready to go, just like that. So like your artist is like, yo, I got a homie coming in 2 minutes and he wants to lay something down real quick. Open this up, boom. Now you have all these tracks ready to go for a feature artist. And if you don't need them, you just keep them inactive and you keep them hidden. Same thing as the multi-tracks. They're here in case you need them. They're right under the main artist, and you would just open them, and then boom, you have a feature artist ready to go. It's that simple. Everything's connected. Now that we have gone through the music, the recording, the vocals, the effects, and we went through the VCAs. Let's take a look at my submix. This is where you would mix together the beat and the vocals to glue them together. On my submix, the first thing that I have is a tape machine, because we're going to mix into a tape machine. My normal settings would be 30. So right here, you have the speed of the tape. 15 will give it a nice creamy feeling. 30 is the more modern, better option. If your song is like fast paced, do 30. I select GP9 as my tape, so it'll change the color to red right here. And then you would select through these. So like this option right here, +9, +7.5. So like if your song is on +6, right, and you don't see it really cracking up here all the way up to 0, and you don't really hear anything on the plugin, try 7.5 or 0.9. What it's do is pushing it harder into the tape, and you'll see that result up here. And always keep it on 1/2 inch for mastering. The next plugin that I have is another instance of SSLG bus compressor. The first one was to glue the lead vocals and the background vocals together. This one is to glue the vocals and the music together. The next plugin that I use, again, seldomly, I don't use it on every mix, but it is the EQP1A by Universal Audio. Normal settings for me, especially on my vocals, would be 8K on the frequency, broadband. I'd probably drag this up to like 4. This is the low end. I would have it on 30 or 60 and probably drag that up to like 3 depending on the song, or I wouldn't touch it at all. This plugin is for taste, it's for color, it's for shaping. You don't have to use it every single time. I'm going to use Gold Clip, and what this is going to do is it's going to clip off the top peaks of the volumes. Look up how to use Gold Clip if you want to learn how to use it more in depth. I'm just giving the quick thing. You pull this down, you'll see the little yellow line where it's like where you know where to start. And once you start going past that yellow line, you'll start clipping the tips of the audio. And that'll help be able to louden it even more and just make it sit really well. If you're going to master yourself, take a day. Like, be done at Gold Clip and then take a day and then come back tomorrow for the master. And then for the master, if you want to do like a real master, you can add plugins to the master to do a full master. But as far as I'm concerned, I have the limiter here to please artists' ears when they're in the studio. So I would drive this up till I'm hitting, and I keep the ceiling at -1. And then if my true peak does hit -0.9, I'll just drag this down another 0.1, and it'll keep my true peak at -1. I would drag the threshold down until I'm hitting about -10 LUFS. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. That's up to you. But make sure you have true peak turned on the limiter. You can adjust your release time for the limiter. Don't mess with the upper compression. Don't mess with that. Unless you understand it. I'm not going to break it down, but don't mess with that. Just set your ceiling, pull your threshold down. You want to get your song to about -10 LUFS. That's an arguable statement though. Like, and nobody on the internet's going to tell you the exact same number. So use whatever number you think feels good. But you want your mixes to be loud and competitive, but not over competitive to where you're killing your dynamics. You got to find the healthy medium. That's all. If you have a different opinion on what you think you should mix to, like as far as LUFS, drop it in the comments. Some people I heard mix to like -9, -8, -7, even louder than that sometimes. It's crazy, but it's true. You're going to want to have your metering tool to check levels. So while this is happening, this metering stuff is cool, but you want I want an official meter. So I have Insight 2, and it's actually free right now. I think you can go get it right now from just type in Insight 2 free plugin, and you'll probably be able to get it for free. And this is just going to tell you everything you need to know about the sound that you have. It's going to tell you if you're balanced. It's going to tell you the levels, your true peak, your integrated LUFS, your short term, and just make sure everything's set properly. And then you have a full mix template. Very simply, like, this template doesn't get any simpler, but it doesn't get any more detailed. Like, notice how everything is uppercase and typed out specifically. There is no bus 2 sitting around, none of that. Couple tips with the template that I want to go over is, if you notice, auto key and auto tune are the only instances on the first plugin slot on anywhere in this entire template. The reason for that is if an artist comes into the session and he says, I want auto tune, if I hold option and right click and go make active, now every instance of auto tune in the entire session is active at once, and now everything's there. Now all I have to do is go type that, go in here, tell them what the key is, and hit send to auto tune. And then when you open up the auto tune, look, E major, and then your key is set. It's so simple. Great process. So keep that inactive until an artist wants the auto tune, and then boom, you can just turn it on. Another tip with this template is right here. The only marker that I have set is intro. So this would be the start of your song, right? So if your chorus comes in right here, right, you press enter on the numeric pad right over here, and you would go C1. Now you have chorus 1 marked right here, right? So you know that this is 1 for the intro. So if you want to go to the intro in the song, it's like, notice how it's moving right now. The cursor's moving. If I take my finger and I go period 1 period, you're going to see the marker jump back to the beginning of the song. Boom, jumps to the beginning. If I go period 2 period, you'll see it jump to C1. Boom. So if an artist is in a session, he's like, yo, I want to hear chorus 1 again. All you had to do is go like this. Boom. Now it's playing chorus 1. So fast. By the time you cop this template, Pro Q4 might be replaced with Spectra for the template. But again, this is for the paid plugin version. If you want a stock template, I'll make that next for you. Just comment below, stock. I want a stock version. So this has been my updated and very detailed Pro Tools template. If you followed along, I appreciate you. If you purchased the template, I greatly appreciate you. It'll help me out with the channel. It'll help you out with your mixing and mastering. This is just a very streamlined template that'll just help you. I know it's hard. It took me months to create this, months and months. Like thinking and like color coding and labeling and naming everything is so frustrating because you have different ideas every single day. Everything changes constantly. Until you finally get something like this where it's like super detailed. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that if you don't purchase it, I hope you at least learn something from the template. But if you do want to purchase it, again, it is linked below in the description. Just go check it out. It'll take you right to where you can purchase it. And then, so what'll happen is once you purchase it, you get a file. And what you would do is you would go into your documents, go into Pro Tools, go into session templates, recording, and this is the template that you'll be receiving right here. You would take that file and you would put it right here, and then you would just open the session template. Say you want to open new session, right? All right. You would type in the name of your session and you would come down here to record and you would go Lil Wobbler's record template. And then the best thing is you can rename it in your files right here, recording. And then you could hit rename, and then you can name it whatever you want your session template to be. And then that's how you do it. And then you can start building from there. My name is Edward Peters. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will have more videos coming up here in the next couple days. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to try to be very consistent about posting. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Have a blessed Christmas. Also, I wanted to add something. So if you have purchased the previous templates and you want the upgraded one, it's free. Just hit me up and you can have the new upgraded version. So if you're watching this video and you already have the old one and you're like, damn, I like this one more, hit me up. You can have the upgraded one for free. Just show me proof that you purchased the first one and then you're good to go. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you. Peace out. Eddie, you made this?